Magandang araw! Sama-sama tayong matuto sa Teacher Sal Learning Resource Channel.
Revised K-12 Curriculum Science 3 Quarter 1 Week 4 For Day 1, our topic is all about physical properties of objects, hard, shiny, and stretchable. Animals around me. Who among you here has a pet? Describe your pet to the class. For the next set of pictures, using your observation skills, describe each cat and explain how they differ from one another. Using your observation skills, describe each cow how they differ from each other. What is one way to describe these animals? Based on their color. What is another way to describe these animals? According to their size. Tape the animals with similar properties in each category, starting with animal, type, then size, then color. What you did, namely, describing the animals, grouping according to category. These are ways to describe how the animals differ from each other. By the end of the session, you will understand how different objects vary based on their physical properties. Using the English-Tagalog dictionary, today you will learn a new word, characteristic. Look it up in your dictionaries. Once you've found the meaning, a few of you will be asked to read the definition aloud to the class. As you read, pay attention to how characteristic means, a feature or quality that helps identify, describe, or tell something or someone apart from others. Now, think back to the animals you described earlier. The features and details you mentioned about each animal are called their properties. These properties help you identify and describe each animal more clearly. What characteristics make a bird different from a fish? You're right, it's where they live, how they move, where we can find each one, their shape and color. Can you describe the differences between a rock and a shell? Where might you find each one? Shape, color. Let's have activity 1. Here are the materials needed per group: sponge, crayon, bond paper, metal spoon, plastic ruler, popsicle stick, pencil, aluminum foil, paper clip, rubber band, and eraser. For the duration, 10 minutes. Instructions: choose one item from the materials given. Describe the properties of your chosen object by answering the following questions on a separate piece of paper. Describe the properties of your chosen object by answering the following questions on a separate piece of paper. What shape is it? What color is it? Is it soft or hard? Is it shiny or not? Is it big or small? Is it stretchable or not? Does it have any unique features? What is your item? What other objects are in the envelope where you placed your item? What are their similarities and differences? What other items can you place inside the envelope? What is the title of the activity? What are the materials needed for the activity? What do they need to find out during the activity? For grouping objects, after describing your items, work with your group to discuss and sort the objects based on their observable properties. Be ready to explain why you grouped the objects that way. After describing your items, work with your group to explain Why you group the objects that way. Which objects are hard? Which objects are shiny? Which objects are stretchable? Share your answers with regards to the questions. Here is a situation. Today is a school day, and you need to pick a lunch box to bring your lunch. Describe the lunch box that you will use to put your food, based on the earlier questions. What shape is it? What color is it? Is it soft or hard? Is it shiny or not? Is it big or small? Can you stretch it or not? Does it have any unique features? How can you describe objects? How can we group objects? Why do you think we group these objects this way? What is the importance of describing an object in terms of physical properties? Copy the table in your notebook and answer. Describe these three items in terms of their observable characteristics: coin, balloon, and spring. Here are the items. For their properties: small, flat, round, shiny, made of metal, hard, has engravings or markings. For the second item: coiled, metallic, stretchy, flexible, bounces back to original shape when pressed. And for the balloon: light, stretchable, soft, made of rubber, can be inflated, changes shape. For day 2, let's talk about objects that are hard. What are the three properties? Hard, shiny, and stretchable. Look at the two objects shown. What properties can you observe in each object? Remember, an object can have more than one property. Let's take a look at these illustrations. Everyday objects include popsicle stick, rubber band, spoon, eraser, foil, and balloon. Focus on the objects that are hard. How you were able to know that those objects are hard? You will be describing hard objects. You will also determine whether an object is hard or not. Using the English-Tagalog dictionary, take a moment to look up the word hard in your dictionaries. What do you think we call an object that is not hard? Share your answers with the class. After hearing your ideas, we will learn a new word, which is soft. What do the objects with the property hard have in common? Read the question carefully and take a moment to think. You will be asked to share your answers afterward. What makes you say that an object is hard or not? They don't bend. They don't squish. They don't break easily. They are firm. They don't change their shape. For activity 2, is it hard or soft? Search around the classroom for 2 objects that you think are hard and 2 objects that you think are soft. Once you have found your objects, take turns pressing each object gently to see if it stays the same shape or not. Write down name of the object or draw a picture of it in your notebook and label it as hard or soft. Draw the boxes in your notebook, then draw the objects inside the right labeled box. Draw your answers inside the correct box. Here are the objects: helmet, hammer, rock, marbles. Will change shape when pressed. Will not change shape when pressed. A hard object is one that stays the same shape when you press on it, or it's tough to change its shape. A soft object is one that changes shape easily when you press on it. Once all groups are done, come together as a class to discuss your findings. Each group will share their descriptions with the class based on the questions from the activity. Which of the following objects will change their shape when pressed? Which of these objects are hard and which are soft? Explain your answer. What are examples of hard objects? How can we say that an object is hard? What are the basic uses of hard objects? Fill in the blanks. A hard object is one that stays the same shape when you press on it, or it's tough to change its shape. A soft object is one that changes shape easily when you press on it. Describe the following objects and color the object red if it's hard and color the object blue if it's soft. For day 3, objects that are shiny. Can you think of some hard objects you use at home and at school? Examples are spoon, fork, chair, table, etc. Where do you use them and what do you use them for? For eating, sitting, etc. Hard objects are strong and sturdy, so they don't break easily and can help us with many tasks at home and in school. Today, we will focus on one characteristic of objects, shiny. You will describe shiny objects and decide whether an object is shiny or not. How do you know if an object is shiny? Think about your answer and be ready to share it with the class. Using the English-Tagalog dictionary, take a moment to look up the word shiny in your dictionaries. What do you think we call an object that is not shiny? Share your answers with the class. After hearing your ideas, we will learn a new word, which is dull. Activity 3. What shiny objects I see at home and at school. Materials needed per group: flashlights, coin, aluminum foil, spoon, wooden ruler, band paper. For the procedure, draw 2 boxes on your notebooks and label them shiny and dull. Pick one object from the given objects. Shine a flashlight on your object and observe if it becomes bright or not. Observe the objects of your groupmates as well as they light the flashlight on their object. In the shiny box, draw the objects that become bright when shown with light. Look at the objects that are shiny. What do they have in common? Read the question carefully and take a few minutes to think about it. Be ready to share your answers with the class. Where can you find shiny objects? At home, school, everywhere. What makes you say that an object is shiny or not? When it sparkles, when it is bright. Shiny objects are those that become bright when light is shown on them. Once all groups have finished, come together as a class to discuss your findings. Share why you classified each object as shiny or dull based on what you observed. Which objects became bright when shown with light? Coin, foil, spoon. Which objects did not? Band paper, wooden ruler. What can you say with these objects? Those that became bright when shown with light are shiny objects. Those that did not are dull. Which of the following do you think will become bright when shown with light? What are examples of shiny objects? How can we say that an object is shiny? What are the basic uses of shiny objects? Complete the table. Shiny, for the first column, its meaning, examples of shiny objects for second column, and for the third column, examples of not shiny or dull objects. For its meaning, shiny objects are those that become bright when light is shown on them. Examples: spoon, fork. Examples of not shiny: paper, pillow cover, bed sheets. Shiny things can be found in nature and can be made by people. True or false? Write T if the statement is true about shiny objects and F if it is false. Shiny objects can only be found outside the house and school. It is F. When shown with light, wooden popsicle stick will become bright. F. Shiny objects can also be hard or stretchable. D. A ring is usually shiny. D. Shiny things can be big and small. D. For day 4, objects that are stretchable. What shiny objects did you see on the way to school? Where do you use them, and what do you use them for? Where do you see rubber bands in your daily life? You're right, hair ties, bundling pens, tying things. Have you ever played the game 10-20? Can you explain what objects are used in the game 10-20 and what you do with them? You're right, rubber bands are being used. How do you think stretchable objects like rubber bands are used in the game? You stretch the rubber bands and jump over it while keep counting by 10. Using the English-Tagalog dictionary, look up the word stretchable in your dictionaries. Take your time. What do you think we call an object that is not stretchable? Think about your answers and be ready to share with them with the class. After hearing your ideas, we will learn a new word, which is stiff. For activity 4, what objects become longer when pulled? Here are the materials needed: ruler, rubber band, balloon, and popsicle stick. What objects become longer when pulled? Duration is for 10 minutes. Place the ruler flat on the table. Position the rubber band directly on the ruler. Use the ruler to measure the length of the rubber band. Write the length in your answer sheet without stretching the rubber band. Gently pinch one end of the rubber band and slowly pull the opposite end without causing it to snap. Write the length of the rubber band during the pull in your answer sheet. Repeat the same process with the balloon and popsicle stick. From the results, classify the objects as stretchable or not. After all groups have finished, come together as a class to discuss your findings. Share why you classified each object as stretchable or not based on their observations. For the object, we have rubber band, balloon, length before the pull, length during the pull, and difference in length. Which of the 3 items changed in length when pulled? Which of the 3 items did not change in length when pulled? Which items are stretchable and which are not? Which of the items that changed length had a longer stretch? What is the title of the activity? What are the materials needed for the activity? What do you need to find out during the activity? Which of the 3 items changed in length when pulled? Which of the 3 items did not change in length when pulled? Which are stretchable and which are not? Compare the objects that changed their length after pulling. What was the length of the rubber band before pulling? What was the length of the rubber band during the pull? What was the difference in the length of the rubber band before and during the pull? What was the length of the balloon before pulling? What was the length of the balloon during the pull? What was the difference in the length of the balloon before and during the pull? Which of the two had a longer stretch? Which is more stretchable? Stretchable objects. First column object, second before, third during, and in the last column their differences. What are examples of shiny objects? How can we say that an object is shiny? What are the basic uses of stretchable objects? Complete the table. Stretchable, meaning examples of stretchable objects and examples of not stretchable or stiff objects. Here are the possible answers. For its meaning, stretchable objects are those that become bright when light is shown on them. Spring, rubber band for its example. And for non-example, pencil and coin. Describe the following objects and encircle the objects that are stretchable and box the objects that are not. Here are the items. You write also their characteristics. For the second set of pictures,